How meta is this? It is First Impression Friday, and we are covering Friday Pattern Company. All the Fridays. Friday Pattern Company is actually one that I am familiar with through Sew My Style. They have been featured a couple of months this year in Sew My Style. So I already follow them on Instagram, and I'm familiar with a couple of their patterns. Some of the names sound familiar. So this isn't a true First Impression Friday, but some of it will be. But it's not like I've never heard of them before. So but I'm excited to introduce them to some of you guys that have not heard of them before, and we will still, deeply analyze all the patterns, which I can't say that I have done. Not enough to remember them off the top of my head and stuff. So, Friday Pattern Company describes themselves as patterns that are fun, minimal, and easy to sew. We want you to find joy through the process of making and wearing clothing you created. So this is the rest of their homepage. They've got PDF patterns that you can download and print at home. They've also got printed patterns that you can ship. Apparently they are, backlogged, or maybe something with the Postal Service. I'm not sure. I'm 99% sure they're based in the United States, California, maybe. They've got a but pretty regularly active blog. It looks like nothing consistent in terms of timing, but, at least it hasn't been a couple of years since they posted one, since we do see that sometimes in the indie pattern world. I get it. The blogs are the hardest things to do when you've got so many other things going on. Like, sitting down to write a blog is low on your priority list. So they also donate 5% of all their proceeds to a rotating collection of top-ranked charities. That's kind of cool. And then here's some more of their Instagram. And that's it. All right, so let's go to, I guess we're going to check out the sew-alongs at the end. I guess that makes sense. That way we'll know which patterns they, oh, actually it looks like just the one pattern. So they've got the Sagebrush Top is the only pattern of theirs that has a sew-along. Oh, and when I was looking through this earlier, I looked at the size chart, and their size range is extended to a 4X, but only on some of their patterns. So we're going to have to pay close attention to that as we go through. But all their patterns are drafted using B-Cop and a person who's 5'5", which is what I am. So that would be convenient. But some patterns also include multiple size options, and finished garment measurements are included in the project page. That's good. But their body measurement chart goes from a 32 to a 54 in the bust, 24 to 47 in the waist, and 34 to 57 in the hips. So that would put me at a medium bust and a 2X in the waist and the hips. So that's quite a jump. I'm sure with the bust cups, I could fudge that a little bit and do, if it goes smaller than a B, I could size up to a large, and that would be if I did a large A cup, isn't that like doing a bigger size but a small bust adjustment? I don't know. We'll have to look at the pattern finished garment measurements closer, but here's the centimeters. And then the non-extended size range, 32, 24, 34, 32, 24. Okay, so they all start at the same extra small, but they only go up to 2X. So 44, 36, 46. 44, 36, 46. Yeah, so it's really the same chart. This one's just got the 1X to 4X. Wait a second. That makes no sense. How do you have... Oh, plus sizing starts at... Okay. I think I might have thought that 1X meant extra large, 1X, and then 2X meant 2 extra large, but I get that that's different. Okay, got it. And then here are the list of their patterns that come in the extended size range. Kind of a lot of patterns, so that's good. All right, let's go to the patterns. They do have a category just for the extended size range. So if you only wanted to shop, like if you knew you were in the 1X to 4X category, you could just not even be tempted by the other patterns that are not, that the sizing has not been extended for yet. Okay, so I guess we'll just go every other one since we're not doing the printed, since the printed patterns are included as a separate listing. That's why some of these are listed twice, but I don't want to miss any of them, so we'll just stay with all patterns. And I want to point out that it looks like their PDFs are $14 and their printed patterns are $20. Some variation there, but around those price points. Okay, this is the Adriana dress. The Adriana dress is an easy-to-sew dress that makes a big impact. Pull-on, A-line shift that features large statement sleeves brought in at the shoulders and wrists with elastic. The neckline is high in front and slightly dropped in the back. Sewn up in a day and worn on the dance floor all night. The model is 5'5" and wearing a size small. So she's a 5'5", and that's my height, and it's sitting right above her knee. So this includes the extended size range, beginner level sewing, woven fabrics, 5/8 seam allowance, and 5% of proceeds go to Evidence Action Charity. Let's look at some more of the pictures. Got kind of like an angled sleeve here. Yeah, there's really not much to it in terms of shaping. You do have a little bust dart here. I wish that this were accentuated more. Maybe it's the fabric because it's a little bit drapey, but the line drawing makes it look like it's going to be like a lot poofier here, but it's not. Yeah, here's a different fabric. This might be like a cotton or a linen or something, and that's short. Does it say it comes in a tunic length, or did they just shorten it? It is a really pretty sleeve. I wish I could see this version from the front. And you guys know I'm going to say I wish there were more pictures, especially with the extended size range. But maybe these photos were taken and the samples were made prior to them extending. You know? See how it makes it look like these are going to be poofier? Still pretty cute though, and like she said, I mean, even if you didn't make it in like a shiny fabric, it would still be, really dramatic, which I guess is what this like linen or cotton version is like. Yardage requirements are here. It looks like 2 1/4 yards up to 3-ish yards, depending on your size. You just need elastic. The Adriana is designed for wovens and can be made from a variety of fabrics. Yeah, because it's so like shapeless. Yeah, you can make it out of just about anything. It looks fabulous in silk, which would also include all the other lightweight drapey wovens like challis and crepe and all that kind of stuff. But it can also be made in rayon, linen, lightweight cotton, and more. The design lines of this pattern are simple enough that you have room to experiment with fabrics you may not have worked with before. That's a good point. You could like really easily do like a border print fabric. You could easily do like a stripe or a plaid and practice what it's like to match those along the few seams that this pattern does have. Even some of those fabrics that are like super special, like sequins or, something with like a, I don't know, frilly-dilly things hanging off of it. You could practice a lot. That's a really, really great point. And then it does come in A0 format for large format printing, which is what I do, or you can print 30 pages at home on like your regular printer and tape them all together. Let's see what the size chart and finished garment measurements look like. The dress has a swingy, this is like a totally different description. That's cool. This dress has a swingy A-line silhouette and loose billowy sleeves. The shoulders are secured with elastic that runs through the shoulders. The elastic is easily adjustable to fit your bust shoulder length. The dress was drafted using sample measurements for a B cup and a height of 5'5". To find your size, compare your body measurements to the measurements on the size chart below. Once you have your size, take a look at the finished garment measurements to see how much ease the pattern has. On the next couple of pages, we will outline some common fit adjustments. So I imagine this was just a screen cap from the instructions. Okay, so this is the same size chart we just looked at. Here's finished garment measurements. So it looks like in the bust is anywhere from 2 inches of ease to 5 inches of, no, 2 to 3, God, I'm bad at math. 2 to 3 inches of ease in the bust, a bunch of ease in the waist, like 15 inches or something. And there's the side seam length, that's like from the underarm to the hem, and the sleeve inseam also, underarm to like the hem of the sleeve. So that's kind of cool they had those here. And also this is the hip, not the waist, my bad. So really only 5 to 6 inches of ease in the hips, which is plenty for like a swing style dress, but it's not too much. You know what I mean? So good. So yeah, I would still be making a XXL. No, I would still be making a, yeah, XXL in the hip, and then somehow miraculously I'm grading down to a medium. I don't know. That's difficult to do. But the XL would be too small, so. Not impossible. It's just, you have to, you really do end up fudging it from each of the, a little bit from each side seam. Was there a center back seam? No, there's not. So you just fudge it out of the 4 side seam allowances that you get. Okay, let me out. Let me out. Okay, there we go. All right, so good. That is Adriana, and kind of like a good lay of the land on how Friday Pattern Company's website works, which to me is really intuitive. I like that these are all like little drop downs and stuff. It's not overwhelming like looking at so much information at once. But this is the Adrian blouse, similar to the dress, in that it has the same sleeve, but instead of the A-line dress, it's more of a close-fitting tee. So here is the line drawing there. So this one is drafted for knits, so we can expect for the bust and all of that to have a little bit, well, if not negative ease, definitely way less ease than the dress had. Slightly cropped with the hem hitting just below your belly button. And okay, so it does have the extended size range, beginner level sewing, designed for knits. 5% of proceeds go to charity. You need 1 3/8 of a yard up to 2 yards. Just the same elastic for the as the dress. Perfect for knit fabrics of all kinds. You need at least 25% stretch. If you choose a knit with more body, like Ponte, it will have a more structured modern look, which I don't know that I recommend. If you sew it in a drapier knit like a rayon jersey, it will have a more romantic look. So certainly rayon jerseys would work. I don't love working with rayon jersey personally. Cotton jersey would be really great. Really any, like those ITY knits, they have a ton of stretch in them. You could even do like a rib knit body and then a cotton knit sleeve, or even if they were in the same kind of color family, like a tone on tone thing, that would be kind of cool. And then there's the pattern details. Okay, cool. Let's look at some of these pictures. The pictures are really great. Very, magazine quality photos. I don't necessarily need magazine quality photos, but they're fun to look at. Okay, so you can see the neckband goes into the elastic, and that's where your elastic gets fed through. Then you have the raglan sleeve. So I'm guessing she's not wearing a bra simply because I don't see anything in way of a strap or anything that looks like a strapless. So that is something to keep in mind. If you don't want your bra straps to show, you got to kind of think of outside the box a little bit. But this is kind of a more stable knit. I wouldn't go so far to say as it's a ponte, but it's definitely more stable. So the sleeve is looking a lot more like full, which I like. And then you can also see itty bitty where the hem is. It's really hitting just below this waistband. So it looks like it's tucked in, but it's really not. If she raised her arms, it would come out in a heartbeat. But here's another look at the neckline. I kind of like this. The sleeve is really, not that I didn't like it before in the dress, but seeing it like this all up close, I like it a lot. And then there's the back. So they definitely have more of the gathering toward the back, and I don't know if that's intentional or not, but you can see a big difference there. Right? And these gathers here versus no gathers. So that's interesting. There might just be more fabric in the back as well. That could be how it's drafted. I don't know. But there you go. All right, so that's the Adrian blouse. Here we can look at the finished garment measurements. So we do have negative ease in the bust by, what would that be? 5 inches of negative ease, which is why you need such a stretchy fabric. That makes sense. And then the waist is no negative or positive ease really. And it doesn't go down to the hips, which is why you don't get a hip finished garment measurement. And then the length of the sleeve is here. Okay, cool. All right, now we've got the Avenir jumpsuit. Flower crown is fun. Okay, the Avenir jumpsuit is an easy woven project that can be sewn up in an afternoon with billowy sleeves and wide legs. The jumpsuit will have you breezing into any event looking and feeling fine. The elastic gathers the neck and waistline for a comfortable fit. All right, extended size range, confident beginner, woven fabrics, somewhere from 3 and, well, let's just call that 4 yards, can we? I appreciate them being so specific, but I don't know where you can go and buy, well, I guess at Joann you can buy 7/8 of a yard, but, okay, so 4 yards up to, 4 1/3. So roughly the same for all the sizes. Elastic, again, is your only notion. Designed for woven fabrics, you get a different look depending on the fabric you select. Drapey or rayon silk will give you a more elegant, dressy look, while more sturdy fabric like linen will give you a gorgeous everyday style. Be creative and daring. It will look amazing in double gauze, rayon challis, lightweight canvas. You really can't go wrong. I mean, you can. You definitely can go wrong. But it would be hard. It would be hard to go wrong. Well, they're all designed for someone who's 5'5". They didn't say anything about this model's height, but we'll look at the line drawing. But if this is supposed to be a drop waist, okay, we're fine. If this is supposed to be at her natural waist, I'm thinking the bodice is way too long, which also leads me to think that this crotch is also very, very long. Which also lends me to think that whenever the crotch is in the right place, now the hem is also up more toward the mid shin. But all that to say, you have the same sort of neckline, same sort of sleeve detail as the past two patterns we looked at, and you get this little, possibly an inseam pocket. Again, we will look at the line drawings here shortly. Here it is in a like crushed velvet, where the waist seam is in the right place on her, and you can see just how, like, you can't see the elastic waistband at all. This is so billowy. So I imagine if you're short-waisted or even regular waisted, average waisted, what would that be? You could remove some inches from this bodice. If you find yourself to be long-waisted normally, this might be a really good pattern where you don't have to make many alterations. I also really like this short sleeve. And I haven't seen very many companies that have been able to photograph this kind of velvet very well. But this looks really chic and really expensive and really beautiful. I mean, you could definitely wear that to an event. No problem. Oh, I wanted to look at her. No, I don't want to look at her crotch, but I wanted to look at the crotch of the pattern. Yeah, it's definitely in more of the right place on her. Kind of hard to tell with the shadows of the nap of the velvet. But even in the back, you can see, again, completely billowed over, covering where the waistband is. So there's a lot of length in this bodice. But yeah, the leg line looks really great. It doesn't look too saggy to me here at all. Really, really good. Cute. And then, yeah, I think that's a side seam pocket, which I don't know how I feel about that. But, and certainly this illustration is not how it actually fits. This is much more billowy through here, as we've seen. And if you pull it down to where it looks more like the line drawing, then we have all the issues of the crotch being too long and the length being too long, so on and so forth. You guys can see that now, right? All right, so let's look at finished garment measurements. They only give the inseam in terms of length measurements, so be really important to check the neck to waist, and I bet you would find that there's easily maybe 4 inches in there extra. That's just me eyeballing it. But there is plenty of ease all around. The waist is, cinched in from the elastic. The hip even has 7 inches built in. So something like this, I could probably size down to an extra large. Instead of making the XXL, I could probably size down to this and have like a little bit slimmer of a leg. It is a relaxed fit though, so pulled in at the neckline and waist, so it's somewhat flexible. Totally true. She says the crotch is slightly dropped, but I don't think as much as that first pattern. I mean, that is a full-on, like, here's her knee, here's her low hip. That's sitting right somewhere in the middle. That's a pretty significant drop. Okay. But just check your own measurements, It doesn't make the pattern bad. It doesn't make the drafting bad. Just, you got to double check for your body's height, which you should be doing anyways, even if the pattern looks perfect on the model, unless you are the model, you should be checking that anyways. So, okay, this is what? The Cambria Duster. Cambria Duster is versatile and stable fall piece. It has dramatic, wide draped shawl style collar. It's shin length, unlined duster that is perfect for layering. The ties in the back, tie the ties in the back for a clean, shapely look, or wrap them around in front for a little bit more coverage. Yeah, I mean, it's a duster. It has a little facing here, but the rest of it is unlined. And then it also has some kind of like little patch pocket. And then they rolled up the sleeves like a lot. I imagine these would probably cover her hands if they were not rolled up. I mean, that's a big, deep turn up there. Okay, so on this, we're only getting... Oh, they just combined some of the drop-down boxes from the other ones. 5/8 seam allowance, intermediate sewing level, designed for woven, but can be made out of a knit as well. Ooh, goodness. Why are we only getting... Oh, 45 inches. Okay, so 3.5 yards of 60-inch wide fabric up to like 4 and let's just call it 3/4. That's a lot. That's a lot. Really don't need that many notions. Fabric is designed for woven, can be made out of knit as well. Would look great in anything with a bit of drape, like rayon twill. Okay, gabardine. Rayon challis would give it more of that, like, you know, blowy, like when you walk, it would like blow behind you. It would also look great at something a little warmer with more body, like a lightweight wool or boucle. That would give it, you know, more of a like winter coat, heavier, more sturdy, structured vibe. I wish I knew what this was for sure. I'm going to guess that it's some kind of wool, but I'm not sure. But she's wearing it over the jumpsuit. So you can see that. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty... Let's look at the line drawing. Well, here's a side view real quick. So it has a drop shoulder and then your sleeve. And then there's the pocket. And this is actually really pretty, this detail here. I wonder what that is. I can't go in any closer. And then there's the tie. So we didn't get to see it tied on a person, correct? Not tied. Oh, there it is tied. Okay, well, I wish we could have seen that from the front. You know, I'm sure they took 1,000 pictures this day. I just wish we could have gotten a few more with the different angles and options shown. And it also looks like it's designed to be rolled up. So that is important to note too, because yes, these sleeves are intended to be very, very long so that you can roll them up. I'm not sure that she mentions anything about the sleeves here at all. Let's see if this does. Drop shoulders and loose sleeves, features ties sewn into the side seams. Yeah, so that's really all she says about it. Finished garment measurements are, yeah, I mean, she gives you the bicep and the length, but that's all you need. You would base everything else off of your body measurements because it is such an oversized pattern. So I appreciate that. You know what? Like a lot of the indie pattern companies, we love and celebrate them because they give us so much information, which is great. I'd rather have too much than too little. But I think it really takes someone who knows what they're doing and talking about to recognize, you know what, they don't need finished garment measurements for every single pattern. For something like this that is loose fitting and, you know, ease is not really an issue, let's not confuse the matter. Let's just keep things simple and only give them the finished garment measurements that matter. You know, I can appreciate that for sure. All right, that's the duster printed. This is the Grace top. The Grace top is an elegant, easy to sew top. It features a funnel neckline, which I love, racer back, also love, and a slight high-low hem. I'm on the fence. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. The fit has a slight A-line silhouette for a relatively loose fit, suitable for knit fabrics with at least 25% stretch. So 1 to 2 yards of fabric, and then just thread and needle. Okay, we already saw that. Knits, 25% stretch, choose a knit with more body. Okay, so it's the same sort of thing. This looks like a cotton jersey to me. Maybe there's some rayon in it. Let's look at some more Are we going to get to see? Yeah, we'll get to see some of the back. Oh, here's a close-up of the neckline. And then there's like a little band that finishes off the arm side. That's really pretty. This, I don't know about that. Right? Shouldn't that be flat? But even in the line drawing, look here. There it is. Oh, because it's like, yeah, I guess if it were like a slouchy turtleneck, it would be slouchy all around. So, yeah, okay, my instincts about that were not right, but look how cute that is. I love this kind of neckline so much, especially out of like a drapier knit like this. You can find drapier cotton knits, so where you're not having to mess around with all the rayon and it being so annoying. But if you do have rayon in your stash and you're in the mood to fiddle with it, this would be a really great pattern to highlight that. It looks really cute styled here with these wide leg pants, even though you can't see the bottom of them. Really, really cute. Love that. 12 bucks. And this is the first one we've seen that does not go up to 4X. So we've only got the finished garment measurements from 34 to 44. And then your hip is 39 to 50. So I would be small to a large in this. Yeah, because the finished garment measurements really don't have that much ease in the bust at all. And then for the hip, it looks like same. No, through what would that be? 4-ish inches in the hip, which is kind of a lot. But I mean, how does... Yeah, I guess there's probably about 4 inches or so. Oh, here we go. Here's just the hem. So you can see, yeah, there's a few inches in there. And that's a really pretty look at the high-low as well. Cute. Okay. Grease. Now we've got the high-low dress. Whoa, you know I love a dramatic back. So here we are with a dramatic, well, a dramatic front if you're standing around like that. Oh goodness, okay. The high-low is a loose, flowy, boho-style dress that is easy to sew, designed for knits with at least 10% stretch. There are 2 back options, a low open back or a bra-friendly version that comes to a slight B. Wear this dress with sandals and a floppy hat and you'll feel like you're on vacation. Layer it over a t-shirt, makes a great everyday look. The double layer of the dress makes it both flattering and extremely comfortable. Okay, again, without the extended sizes, beginner level sewing, designed for knits, and then, I mean, knits, I don't know many knits that come in 45 inches. Okay, so we'll just skip that and we'll just go, we'll go here. 54 and 60. So you would need 2 3/4 up to 3 1/4, depending on your size. No notions, I'm guessing. Yep. And then 10%, we already went through that. Okay. So here's the front, double layer, nice big thick strap. The arm side does drop down quite a lot, but this line is really pretty. And then there's the back. Yep, very dramatic, scoopy back. But again, with this like little scoopy layer, I guess, that mimics that. Oh, and that's it in more of like a rayon-y type of jersey. This is slinky. Slinky. I really don't see why you couldn't make this out of a woven. I mean, maybe the hip maybe, but her hip looks like it has plenty of ease in it. So I think that this is more of a lightweight ponte possibly, and then this is more of like a drapier, slinky rayon, I think. And then I also wish that they showed what the alternate back view looked like in a line drawing, just so you could see, you know, how high up are we talking here, you know. But no go there. The bust measurements are for the bra-friendly, higher-backed version. If you're making the low-backed version, the back is open at the bust, which I guess that means it doesn't matter. Finished garment measurements. So it looks like no ease in the bust. Wow. And then in the waist, there's 2 to 4-ish. That's plenty for a woven. And then in the hips, there's a 5 inches. I think you could do this out of a woven, guys. It doesn't have to be a knit. Especially a drapier one, crepe or something. Maybe double check the bust. But if you're doing the wider, like she said, the open back, where the bust doesn't really matter, then yeah, definitely just use a woven. All right, that's high-low. Helo, maybe? I don't know where the emphasis goes. Okay, look at this one. The Hughes dress. This is cute and different, right? The Hughes dress is the perfect everyday dress. It features princess seams, sleeves that gather at the cap, and a gorgeous scoop neckline. What I like about this scoop neckline is that, yes, it scoops, but it's also high up on the neck. A lot of times we see scoops that come way out here on your shoulder, and they don't want to stay on, or your bra shows, whatever. This one comes all the way up on your neck still, but then has this really beautiful scoop to it. It buttons or snaps up the front and has an adjustable lace-up tie in the back. Let's look at that. This pattern comes with options to cut it as a peplum top, above the knee length, or midi length dress. The Hughes dress is designed to be beautiful and flattering with design elements that make it comfortable and easy to wear. So again, no extended sizing, advanced beginner to intermediate, designed for wovens, 48 pages. And no AO. So you have to print 48 pages at home. So depending on the length and your size, you're looking at anywhere from 1 2/3 up to 3 1/4 yards of fabric. Woven fabrics, and this is the same kind of description about wovens as the other patterns. Thread, interfacing, snaps or buttons, a ruler, and safety pins. Lots of pictures on this one too. So here's another look. Let's see if we can see these better. I wanted to get a closer look at the poofy sleeve, but here's the, you can see the princess seam here. You can also see the facing. Interesting to me that the facing doesn't just get sewn into the princess seam. You know, it's so close. Maybe there's a reason why that I just don't know because I'm not a pattern designer. But I don't know, couldn't you just double up the when cutting out this portion of the bodice and not have a separate facing piece? Okay, and then now we've got this view. I do like it in the stripe a lot. And I like how they like turn the stripes. These go this way, these go this way. These match up nice. This lightweight linen looks super comfortable. Okay, here's our line drawing. Oh, cute. I love the little tie-up back. So here's peplum, knee, and midi lengths. There's the little sleeve. it looks like in the line drawings this comes out really wide, like almost Victorian, but on the models they're definitely more narrow. The openings are more narrow. But yeah, the style lines are really beautiful. I do like this a lot. That little detail. Oh yeah, and a ditzy like rayon-y type print. Yeah, so good, so good. Cute. This is a good fall dress, guys. Maybe because I'm seeing it in this like dark background, you know, fabric, which is give me such strong fall vibes, but I guess because it's closer fitting too, maybe. I don't know. I'm just getting fall. Look how cute. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. Really cute. And you can kind of fudge your waist seam a little bit with something like this as well. Not too much, but a little bit you could. Also great for Thanksgiving because then you can untie it a little bit and let in some room as well. Okay. All right, let's look at the size chart. So finished garment measurements are like 1 or 2 inches in the bust. Oh, there's actually quite a bit of ease in the waist. Wow, 8, 9 inches? That is a lot. And then the hips, 5 or so. And then here's the lengths. Okay. Yeah, maybe this is meant to be pulled in a lot more than I realize this. We only get this one picture of the back, and it's in this really dark print, so it's just kind of hard to tell. But I love it. That's very cute. Okay. Is that it? No. Oh, that was the hues. Okay, got it. I was stuck on the black one. All right, next we've got Joan trousers. Well, those are cute. The Joan trousers are easy to make and look amazing. Sew them up in an evening and wear them to work the next day. The Joan trousers are treggings. Trouser leggings. I've actually never heard that before. Obviously, I've heard of jeggings, but not treggings. They feature wide legs, a 2-inch waistband. I do love a nice deep waistband with belt loops and a button, scoop pockets, which are great, and an optional sash belt. These editorial looking pants are the ultimate secret pajamas. I mean, I don't know that I go that far. But non-extended sizes, 5/8 seam allowance, advanced beginner, designed for knit fabrics. That's what makes them treggings. I get it now. I get it. Again, I don't know any knit fabrics that come 45 inches wide, so anywhere from 1.88 is so specific. You can't even order anything like that. We're just going to go 2 yards to 2.25 yards, depending on your size. And then the belt, you'll need like a little bit more, obviously. So you'll need your button, 3/8 inch wide elastic or something, and a hand sewing needle. Joan pants are designed for knit fabrics with 20% stretch. Knits with a bit of body are ideal, like Ponte, French terry, double knits, and interlock. You want your fabric to be thick enough that it'll be comfortable to wear as pants. So, yes, that is good of her to point that out. I don't know what that elastic is for. Is it elasticated in the back? Yeah, that's really cute. I like the fabric choice here too. It's not. I don't know where that elastic goes. I don't. But yeah, it looks like a jean, right? Like a jean missing some pockets. Oh, here's another version. Oh, I remember seeing this picture. Yeah, a lot of fun options for fabrics there. A tregging. Tregging is interesting. I'll say the fit looks really good. The rise looks great. Side seams really straight, although she has a, you know, pretty straight body, but yeah, nothing jumping out at me in terms of fit issues. So obviously you know, muslin this and make it good for your body, but nothing jumping out at me from the pattern design. Okay, now we've got the Joni jumpsuit. This girl pulls off these hats like so good. I don't know that anybody, well, not anybody, but I don't know that everyone looks this great in one of these hats, but she's making me feel like I should try one. The Joni jumpsuit is designed for knit fabrics. Oh, we didn't look at the garment measurements. I'm sorry. I'm going back. So the waist, well, that's alarming. The waist has 3 inches of negative ease. I mean, I know it's a knit fabric, but that's got to be where the elastic is. The elastic's got to be in there somewhere. In the back, maybe. Just to, like, hold it in. That's what I'm thinking. And then hips. Negative ease in the hips, too. So, just keep that in mind, guys. Okay. They don't look, like, super tight on her, or even her are more fuller figured gal. Okay. And I hope this is supposed to be a drop waist, because that is very low on her. All right. It features tank straps that tie in the back, making them adjustable. The neckline comes to a slight V, which is actually really pretty. The bodice is lined and features a back zipper. The wide leg pants are fitted at the hips and have optional patch pockets. Pattern can be easily modified to match any inseam or shortened to shorts. Okay. PDF, 5/8 seam allowance, intermediate, 10% stretch fabrics, a zipper, 2 5/8 to 3 2/3. Oh, goodness. Okay. No line drawing? No line drawing. But this hits pretty low. That's her belly button, like right there. So I don't know how flattering that would be on everyone. Plus, this used to happen to me a lot whenever I would buy ready-to-wear pants because I have an athletic front thigh. If the pants had like a stretch to them, like a cotton sateen or like anything with like a small percent of spandex, which a lot of ready-to-wear has, so that they can kind of fudge their sizes a little bit. But you could see like an imprint of like my thigh, and I hated that. I hated that so much. So you're getting this here because it's so fitted in the hip. That's why you're seeing that here. So it's stretching around her thigh at her widest point, and then when her thigh starts to taper in, you know, the pant kind of falls, quote unquote, falls away from that. So it probably just like a personal thing that sticks with me because I looked at myself in so many dressing rooms when that would happen and would get so frustrated. But yeah, if it were me, I would want this at my waist, but it appears to be designed to sit like a tank top and pants would. The rise is in the right place. The length looks good. So here's the really cute back, actually. When she said they tied and were adjustable, I assumed they tied not to each other. But yeah, I mean, that's a wedgie. It's a wedgie waiting to happen. I wonder if these were based off those pants we just looked at. Oh, did you know you could do this? Okay, well now I know. I can just scroll through them. Got it. Learn something new. But yeah, I wonder if these were based off of these other Joan trousers. Did we get any back pictures of the Joans? No. So that could be, are they in this? Nope, same photos. Okay, so they could be the same block, and instead of doing a waistband, they just added on this bodice. So good thing to point out there is check the back. Finished garment measurements. Yeah, we're gonna have negative ease all around. The hips have like either 1 inch of negative or no ease at all. So depending, I guess it really depends on the stretch amount of your fabric. Yeah, pretty close fitting jumpsuit. Okay, cute Lucida dress. I love a ruching. And this one's only 12 bucks. So the perfect dress helps you look and feel good while still being comfortable. The Lucida has that in spades. This cute little dress features cap sleeves, an adjustable tie at the neckline, and a slight A-line skirt. Great year-round dress that can be worn when the weather is warm or paired with tights and boots when the world cools down. Okay, comes in AO copy shop. Love that. 5/8 seam allowance, beginner level sewing, and designed for knits with 10% stretch. So this would be really good for those double brushed pontees. Double brushed polys. Those are really affordable. They come in a good jillion different prints. So you guys can get in some good practice there. So 2 to 2 1/4 yards of fabric, not a lot. No notions. And then here it talks about your, you know, the differences in light and mid-weight knits. All right, let's do the scrolly thing. Yeah, I do have a big 4 pattern that's a lot like this. So, and okay, something I'm noticing here is when you pull this really, really tight, it also pulls up the center front hem. So if you know that you're going to pull this all the way up, you might want to, you know, redraft this hemline to be a little bit longer in the front. Here's the back. Back looks good. Not too clingy, nice and comfortable. Cute shoes. And then here it is in a velvet situation. This looks a lot more close fitting than the other one, doesn't it? But again, it's hard to tell. The pictures are really beautiful, but like not really showing the garment super, super well. There is also some pulling here, so I would check the width of the shoulder. All right. So, finished garment measurements. It 32.3 inches. That's very specific. So yeah, not a lot of ease or negative ease in the bust. And then in the waist, yeah, like 1 inch of ease in the waist. I do wish they gave the width, the hip finished garment measurement, only because that one, hers looks so close fitting. I mean, I guess you could be sitting on it here, but still, even here, when my waist and hip are so different that I kind of like to know the hip whenever it's sort of close fitting like this. But that's just me. I could figure it out on the pattern easily enough, I guess. All right, here is something called the square neck top, which is only available. Oh no, here's the PDF over here. Okay, so we'll go here. And did I see? I think the printed version goes up to 7X. But the square neck top is a boxy dolman sleeve top with a square neckline. It is slightly cropped. It is a great beginner sewing pattern and includes pattern pieces to make the top from a knit or woven. It includes pattern pieces to make the top from a knit or woven. That's cool. Easy to sew. Front pieces drafted for AB or CD cup. Comes in copy shop and at home. No notions, right? Interfacing is all, yeah. Knit version is 20% four-way stretch, so cotton jersey, rib knit would be great, lightweight French terry. Woven version, I mean, really all the wovens, linen, cotton, rayon, silk. And then here's some model fit details. I love when they do this. The fabric is a knit with less than 20% stretch, so we opted for the woven pattern. Oh, okay. So what she's saying there is that the fabric that they had less than 20% stretch. So instead of sewing the knit version of the pattern out of that knit, not super stretchy fabric, they sewed the woven in that not super stretchy knit. God, I hope that I'm explaining that right. So yeah, it really goes into detail about how tall they are, the length was not modified, bust measurements, all of that. That's cool. Awesome. I mean, it is a pretty basic design, but basic is fun to play around with, fun to do different fabrics with, fun to practice different things on. If you're like practicing, getting your shoulder fit looking good, and you want to practice some pattern alterations, patterns like this are really great for that. Yeah, it does. It goes up to 7X. So keep that in mind. Yeah, all those really fun novelty fabrics, you could totally have a lot of fun with this pattern. All right, and there's our line drawings. Yeah, 7X. So we're going from a 32 bust up to a 60-inch bust. And then your hip is 34 to 63. And then they have it broken down by cup size. So I'm not going to go through all of these because they also have the knits broken down by cup size too. But it may be a simple pattern, but she really did put a lot of time and thought into making it approachable for everyone. Okay, this is the Sage Brush top. You guys know I love a ruffle. Oh no, a stray thread. I do that all the time. The Sage Brush top is an elegant and easy to sew blouse that is a joy to make and wear. Sage Brush is designed for woven fabrics and looks great in breezy fabrics like cotton voile, as well as more structured fabrics like crisp linen. The simple design of the top lends itself to customization, loose without being baggy, type of breezy fit you'll want to wear all summer, generous puff sleeves and gathers, comfortable to move in. The tie at the back neckline makes it simple and cute. Looks great tucked in, drafted from a B cup and someone who's 5'6". And then here's some more about the models and what they're wearing and the sew along. I wish this was, oh, it is linked. Okay, good. You just can't tell without scrolling over it. It goes up to 7X also. Beginner level sewing, AO, and at home printing. A little bit of elastic. And then your fabric requirements, depending on your size and the width of the fabric, can be up to 3 yards of fabric. Cute. This little gauze version is really cute. Okay, let's look at more pictures. Oh, I'm doing it wrong. Okay. I love a ruffle so much. This might be bias binding. That's a little tricky. Oh, here's where the elastic goes also. I didn't notice that the first time around. Gingham also has this like gathered sleeve cap. So again, I think I mentioned this in one of the other recent first impression videos. If you're new to sewing sleeves, these are a great way to practice because you don't have to worry about it being super smooth. You can practice, you know, what the underarm part is like and then not have to be so precise up top. Yeah, still an uneven hem. I don't know what that's about. Cute. The gingham version is really cute. There's the tie back. It actually even has a yoke. Well, the hem looks better there. Hers is just tucked in, so I can't tell what's going on there at all. And that's it for pictures, right? Cute. Okay. Size chart. Yeah, a bunch of E's everywhere. Very loose fitting. Good. Cute. I love it. No wonder it's so popular. I've heard of this one before. I haven't seen a ton of versions, but I definitely have heard of it. She also has a swimsuit pattern called Sea Bright. I'm not going to review this because I don't make swimwear, but it comes in a long sleeve version and this not short sleeve, but obviously sleeveless design. Super, super deep V. Would also maybe make a good jumpsuit, or like not a jumpsuit, but a bodysuit, maybe. All right, now these are the last of our Friday Pattern Company patterns. This Ilford jacket is what was in Sew My Style earlier this year. And I did not choose to make this. I chose to make the other one. Just because this kind of like artsy jacket just isn't really my style. I don't love jackets that go over my hip, and especially when they're like real loose. That to me just adds a lot of volume that I don't want. But the Ilford jacket is a versatile style that's modular design. The Ilford jacket is a versatile style that's modular design makes, I think there's a typo in there somewhere, for a pattern that is simple yet impactful. Customize a million different ways and a choose your own adventure type of pattern. I love that. Drop shoulders, comes with 2 sleeve options. Also includes 2 lengths as well as a bunch of pocket templates that you can mix and match. The possibilities are endless. You can wear the Ilford jacket as a jacket or shirt, depending on the fabric you use. This is a fun skill building pattern that you will want to make and wear again and again. And it's gender neutral. Goes up to 4X, confident beginner, designed for wovens. Fabric requirements are 2 1/4 up to 3, depending on size and width of your fabric. Some buttons, interfacing, designed for wovens, lightweight canvas, linen, denim, or corduroy. Also looks amazing in a drapey woven. I think the model is wearing a double gauze or something. And then it does come in copy shop and print at home. Again, the girl with the cute hat. The girl who can pull off all the hats. Actually, this might be some kind of canvas-y something. You know what would be a really cute idea is if you made it out of like a plain canvas and then stenciled on or embroidered on something. This would be the perfect pattern for something like that. Here it is in like a flannel-y type of something. Drop shoulder, like she mentioned. This one has a collar. Does this? Yeah. There's the shorter version and the longer. Is that it? Oh, nope. This is the only view of the back that we get, and I don't see a yoke or anything, so pretty plain back. Were there line drawings? Yes. Yeah, so plain back. And the shorter version also does have your like standard sleeve placket. And then here's a few of the different pockets that you get too. So the Ilford is boxy and straight through the body, so the bust and hip measurements are the same. The measurement given is for the jacket when it is buttoned up. The length given is measured along the center front of the jacket. Okay. So, bust and hips are 44. Okay, so that would mean the bust has like 11 inches of ease and the hip has like 9 or 10 inches of ease. So still quite a lot. All right, Westcliff is next. This is a really pretty wrap dress. I think it's a knit wrap too. Yeah, the Westcliff is easy to sew dress for knit fabrics. It features a wrap front with full coverage. True. And a neckline that won't gape. There is an optional lower tier that makes this dress a maxi, which I think is really pretty. The pattern also includes a tutorial on how to turn this dress into a cute cropped top. The pattern includes that, so it's not even like a separate like tutorial or anything. It's all included. So up to 4X, print at home and copy shop, 2 cup sizes, and designed for knits with at least 25% stretch. Here's your fabric requirements. Really no notions. And just a stretchier, well, kind of like a mid-stretch, 25% stretch knit. Cute little front shoulder gathers here. It's very easy to sew knit neckband. And I really quite like the gathered tier. I wonder what that is. I wanted to see this one from, whoa, look, they match. This is the without the tier. But yeah, I mean, the no gaping and all this in here looks really good, especially whenever you compare it against Big Four, which isn't known for having those things drafted super, super well. Okay, so interestingly enough, there's a lot of ease in the bust. But I wonder how that's measured. Not so much in the waist and not a lot in the hips either. It's a pretty close fitting. It's only got 4 inches of ease. That bust finished garment measurement though, that's what's really throwing me. I bet that when they measured it, they measured from, how do I explain this? Imagine where this goes underneath the top layer. I bet they measured from there all the way around to here, not factoring that this middle portion was overlapped. I bet that's what happened. That's all I can think. Yeah, that's got to be it. All right. Here's the Wilder gown. This is by far their most popular pattern. I've seen a gajillion different versions of this. A lot of the versions that I've seen are are very, very beautiful. These pictures make it look a little bit more nightgown. The ones that I've seen really look very, very elegant, nice, expensive. Sometimes when I see them like made up in real life and not like the model-y versions, I think like they're different patterns. But then I'm like, no, I guess that really is it. So the Wilder gown is a loose, flowy, tiered dress that can be sewed up a bunch of different ways. Raglan sleeves and ties at the neck. Easy to sew, perfect for drapey woven fabrics. Can be made as a top or dress, long or short sleeved, with one skirt tier or two. The design is fairly modular, so it's easy to customize to your vision. And then model specs. Up to 4X, beginner sewing, at-home printing, and copy shop. Designed for woven fabrics. I bet you need a lot of fabric. 4 yards, I'm seeing a lot. So, yeah. And then a notion is the desire to make an amazing gown or top. All right. So this is raglan. Again, the tie goes through the neckline, which creates this really pretty like ruffle detail with also a beautiful tie. And then you've got an empire waist tier and like a mid-thigh type tier. And this is 3/4 sleeve. Here it is a top out of a more stable fabric. So you get what that looks like. I also think it would be really pretty if you made this version and then didn't sew up the center front. If you left it open, like kind of like a cardigan. Here's the size chart with the finished garment measurements. So obviously very roomy in the bust and in the hips. This would be the only thing that I would really need to check for myself. I can't remember mine off the top of my head. But, and then you might want to check the lengths too. Here's a really pretty shot of the neckline. I think it looks best in these like drapier fabrics like challis. And then here's your line drawings. Oh, here's also a shorter sleeve. Oh, and the shorter hemline. And then this is what the top looks like. But like I said, I could see it as if you left this whole thing open and then whenever you cut your skirt pieces, if you just didn't cut them on the fold, I could see it being really pretty, like lightweight woven overlayer. Cute. All right, that's the Wilder gown. And then she's got a 2-piece bikini, again, that we're not going to review. But I do like the bottoms. If I were going to make a swimsuit, maybe it would be that one. Or maybe I should start making underwear and I could use this pattern as an underwear pattern. Anyways, all right, so that is Friday Pattern Company. What did you guys think? I think that now that I was able to look at each of their patterns in depth for the first time, I'll say that in terms, like comparing them against other indie patterns, there aren't a ton of options within each pattern. You know, it's not like you get a shirt pattern that has like 3 different sleeves and 4 different lengths. You know, it really is like, no, I designed this top to be like this, and I'm going to give you a few options, but nothing to where you can make it and it would look completely different. So I kind of respect that, where she has a vision and she, you know, wants to put it out in the world just like that. I get that. There are a lot of great indie pattern companies that allow you to kind of go nuts with all the different options that you can make with just one pattern. She has really streamlined it down. There was not a free pattern. Again, I really thought that that was going to be like par for the course. I remember when I first started sewing, it felt like every indie pattern company had a free pattern of some kind, but we've really seen so few. So I can't really speak to the instructions or anything. I've never actually sewn one of her patterns before, but like I said, the Wilder is super popular and a lot of people really, really love it. So if that's any indication of what the others are like, I imagine that, you know, the instructions are pretty good. But I'd like to know what you think of Friday Pattern Company. Let me know in the comments below. Maybe you've sewn some of these patterns before. If you have, share some of your thoughts with everyone in the comments so we can learn a little bit more about that part of this company, what their patterns are, what their instructions are like, and all that good stuff. But that is going to do it for me today. I will see you all very soon. Bye.